everybody, it's Malina Moye. I hope that you are doing well and staying safe. What is the good news for this month in June? It seems like the rest of the world is finally opening up. And with that, I had a chance to team up with Reverb for Black Music Month to do one of my favorite things, to discuss left-handed upside-down guitar players. So not just the left-handed player, but the player who actually plays upside down. What does that actually mean? It's a good question. Look at it this way. The skinny E is closer to the top of your head, while the thicker E is closer to the bottom. We have to start with the queen herself, Miss Elizabeth Cotten. Elizabeth Cotten is one of the greats and someone that we should all be very, very thankful for. Elizabeth is the reason that we actually have the term cotton picking and with the blues. What a lot of folks don't know is that she started playing guitar early in her life, but when it really got really good was 25 years after she was married. She then began to start her recording career at the age of 66. Elizabeth Cotten was born in 1893, played music from an early age, fingerpicking with her left hand on right-handed banjos and guitars. And by the age of 12, she had written Freight Train, one of her most enduring songs, but the wider world wouldn't hear about it until the roots music revival of the 1950s, when Cotten's recording and performing career began in full. As a self-taught blues folk musician, she approached her upside-down guitar playing in her own unique way, using her fingers to pluck the bass strings while her thumb picked out the melody. And next up, no list would be complete without the king, Albert King, the one and only monster lefty bender. What an iconic and incredible player. I mean, some of the greatest guitarists that we know borrowed and stole a lot of his incredible licks. Albert King, something that a lot of folks don't realize, is that he actually used eights. I like to think that with the eights, it allowed him to put more of his soul and his passion into it. And when a musician asked, "Why are you using eights?" he once said, "I'm not trying to work that hard, man."
It's groovy, huh?
So my thing is, do what works. So Albert King, obviously, is one of the greats. When Albert King was still an upcoming bluesman in the 50s, he falsely told promoters and audiences that he was B.B. King's brother. While that may have helped him land some early gigs, Albert's personal style definitely set him apart. Albert was a heavy-handed player, using his thumb to pluck notes with a percussive pop and aggressively bending strings during his solos. At times, he'd bend and drag two notes at once or bend a single note 2 whole steps above its original position. And remember, by doing this as an upside-down guitar player, he was usually bending strings down in the opposite direction of a standard player. Next up, we have the great Dick Dale, the Surf King himself. Dick Dale was another heavy-handed upside-down guitarist. Dick Dale's playing style, as heard on Miserlou, combined the Middle Eastern scales of his Lebanese heritage with the reverb-drenched, overdriven sound of crank Fender amps. And I've heard he's blown a lot of amps at his gigs. But Dale's aggressive tremolo picking later influenced the quick attack of metal guitarists, and his over-the-neck fingering was a move later borrowed from the great Jimi Hendrix. Unlike many upside-down players, Dale often used a left-handed guitar, so the angle bridge pickup of his Stratocaster gave his bass strings that extra high-end bite. Another great upside-down lefty guitar player, Mr. Otis Rush, with one of my favorite songs, I Can't Quit You, Baby.
Well, I can't quit you, baby. But I gotta put you down for a while.
Otis Rush introduced I Can't Quit You, Baby to the world. Written by Willie Dixon, Rush first recorded the song in 1956 and made it an instant hit, more than a decade before Led Zeppelin supercharged it on their 1969 debut. Rush's intense playing was often done on a Gibson ES 355 or 345, not particularly common choices for upside-down guitarists, and his slow, controlled vibrato is almost unmatched. Rush credited his upside-down nature of his guitar with some of his signature tone, telling Vintage Guitar magazine, quote, "It's a lot less stress to tear a house down than build it up, right? Pulling down makes more sense to me anyway. And besides, I can work it stronger and get it to sustain better. Besides all that, I like doing things backwards anyway." And you know what? I have to agree with that. Definitely. Next up is one of my favorite guitar players, the wonderful Doyle Bramhall II. Doyle is an incredible artist, an incredible guitarist, and just an overall wonderful guy. I had the opportunity to tour with him on the Experience Hendrix tour, and let me just tell you, yeah, the rumors are true. I will say this, me and Eric and him, I was just stealing all kind of licks from those guys. But you may have seen Doyle with some of my favorites as well, Dr. John, and of course, it's Mr. Slowhand himself, Eric Clapton. Doyle Bramhall may be one of the most recognized upside-down guitarists playing today, having performed alongside Eric Clapton and Roger Walters for years. But along with his solo work, he also played with the likes of Allen Toussaint, Dr. John, Elton John, and Leon Russell, and many, many more heavyweights. Like other upside-down players, Bramhall is self-taught. He has said he learned about 100 songs before his first proper lesson. So when the teacher told him he had to restring his guitar correctly, it was already too late. I can 100% relate to that. Doyle is right. Little story, I actually tried to play it strung for a lefty, and once I tried that, it just didn't work for me. My brain, everything I was doing was not working. I had to go back and just play it upside down and figure out, you know what, you just have to go through it and see what works and get with people who are better than you and just work at it. That was it. So yeah, I have to agree with him. And to round out our list, of course, my big brother, the iconic Eric Gales. A little secret, Eric is actually right-handed, right? But he plays left-handed, which always confused me. So I think it's because the left-handed brand with his brothers, they all were actually left-handed and they learned to play upside down, so they just taught Eric that way and he just kept it going. Eric Gales' solos can have a cutting bite, bright, clear, and pointed, but he can also be sweet and nuanced. Like so many other upside-down players, Gales got started on a right-handed guitar because that's simply what was most available. But what's really interesting about Eric is that he kept it up long after he had the choice. His nickname is Raw Dog. Now, Raw Dog has his own signature model, the Magneto Sonnet Raw Dog. But in keeping with tradition, the Strat-style guitar is still built for right-handers, with Gale choosing to play his own signature guitar upside down. As a left-handed player myself, who plays upside down, there's a lot of misconceptions that I think we have. And so my approach to also, I guess people always say we can't really do bar chords or power chords, but I like to think that we find our way to make it work. And even for myself, with bends, I guess I do bend in the opposite direction. I never really paid attention. And to me, I just found it easier to always ask for a left-handed body with a right-handed headstock in any of my guitar manufacturers, and then of course to restring it. And as you saw with my Gibson, what was iconic about that guitar is that's actually a remake of Jimmy's 69, but that's a left-handed body, it's a left-handed guitar, and they actually restrung that guitar backwards. And it took 7 Luthers to fix the bridge so that we can actually string it that way. So, I mean, it's just amazing to have people to help you to really get the voice you're looking for and to help you to just make great things happen. And with my Strat here, like I said, I wanted to do a left-handed body because when I was playing the right-handed guitar, it was obviously kept cutting away for me to do a lot of my leads, so it was very difficult. But here it allows me to definitely move up, and then it gives me more action to definitely go to my strings. And then of course, yeah, and then the neck in itself is reversed, but it was never a choice to look cool. It was a choice that I did because it made it easier for me to get to the strings. So, and at the end of it, you just start to realize all these incredible tensions in different places that you can get other sounds out that I would say a normal right-handed player can't do. So to me, I always say what Eddie Van Halen says: if it sounds right, it's right. So that's my motto. Yeah, and just keep doing it and just keep playing it. And that's kind of how I came up with the Malina Moye sound. How many left-handed upside down guitar players did you guess? Who do we leave off the list? Sound off below. Did you get them all right? In any event, keep rocking.